Dick Hallorann appears in The Shining and It. For years, fans noticed Dick Hallorann, the psychic cook from The Shining who could read minds and sense evil, seemed to reference experiences that didn't happen in that novel. Some theorized he appeared in other King stories. It seemed like wishful thinking from fans desperate to connect the dots. The It novel explicitly confirms this. Dick Hallorann is mentioned as an army cook and member of the African American Army nightclub in Derry, Maine called the Black Spot, which was burned down by a racist hate group in 1930. Dick's shining, his psychic ability to see the past, future, and read thoughts, allowed him to save the lives of several other clubgoers, including Mike Hanlon's father, by warning them before the fire. The series It, Welcome to Derry made this connection even more explicit, with Chris Chalk playing a young Dick Hallorann as a prominent character. Director Andy Muschietti stated the decision to incorporate Dick was a no-brainer because his psychic power is definitely ingrained in the story. The fan theory that Dick's abilities and backstory connected him to It's universe was validated decades after both novels were published. This means Dick survived the horrors of Derry, witnessed Pennywise's evil firsthand, and carried that trauma with him to the Overlook Hotel, where his shining would save Danny Torrance's life. The Losers Club and the Turtle saved reality. After the success of It, fans theorized that the Losers Club didn't just save Derry, they saved the entire multiverse. When they defeated Pennywise, they were actually protecting one of the beams that holds up the Dark Tower. The beams are 6 invisible forces that hold all realities together, and if they break, all of existence collapses into chaos. It seemed like fans were inflating the importance of a small-town horror story. The Dark Tower series confirms this connection. The turtle that helps the losers is Maturin, one of the 12 guardians of the beams, ancient cosmic entities that physically protect these realities. When it is described as an ancient force that predates the universe, it's positioned as a threat not just to Derry, but to the fabric of reality itself. In interviews, King acknowledged that the battle in It had cosmic significance beyond what the characters understood. The losers were fighting a front in a much larger war for reality itself. Their victory wasn't just about saving children, it was about preserving the integrity of their section of the beam. The fan theory that the kids in It were unwitting soldiers in the tower's defense was exactly right. Shawshank Prison appears across multiple King stories. Shawshank State Prison appears not only in its own story, but has been mentioned in several other works by or related to King. Fans theorize that, like Derry and Castle Rock, Shawshank was part of King's interconnected main landscape and would keep appearing. For years, this seems speculative. The prison appears in several episodes of the Hulu series Castle Rock and multiple episodes of It, Welcome to Derry. References to the prison can also be found in works by King's son, Joe Hill, including the novel Nosferatu and the 2019 comic Basket Full of Heads. It, Welcome to Derry is set in the 1960s, and Andy Dufresne doesn't escape Shawshank until 1975, meaning Andy and Red are both in Shawshank Prison during the events of the show. The theory that Shawshank exists as a permanent fixture in King's Main, connecting multiple stories across decades, was completely validated. Gerald's game and Dolores Claiborne happened simultaneously. This theory started with a strange detail. Both novels feature a solar eclipse that happens at a crucial moment. Fans theorized the two books, seemingly unrelated, were actually happening at the exact same time, possibly even connected through the Dark Tower's web of KA. King confirmed this explicitly. In interviews, he stated that Gerald's game and Dolores Claiborne were deliberately written as companion pieces. The solar eclipse appearing in both novels is the same eclipse, happening at the same moment. Both women experience supernatural visions during their traumatic ordeals, and both are touched by something beyond normal reality. The novels contain direct references to each other. Dolores Claiborne mentions events that align with Gerald's game, and both women experience similar moments of psychic clarity. King revealed he intended these as two halves of a larger meditation on women surviving abuse, connected through time and space by the eclipse, an astronomical event that, in King's universe, creates thin veils in reality. The theory was 100% correct. Randall Flagg is he who walks behind the rose. Randall Flagg, the demonic sorcerer and primary villain from The Stand who can live for centuries and travel between dimensions, has appeared in multiple King novels under different names. He who walks behind the rose is the demonic entity that possesses the children in Children of the Corn and demands blood sacrifice. Both are otherworldly forces of evil, and since it's confirmed explicitly in The Stand that Flagg has taken many forms and identities over the years, possibly for millennia, fans theorize they could be the same entity. Many fans suspect that he who walks behind the rose from Children of the Corn is an incarnation of Randall Flagg, another mask worn by the same ancient evil. The Stand implies this connection through Flagg's obsession with corn and agricultural imagery. In The Stand, Flagg's followers cultivate corn as a symbol of their devotion, and he's described as having power over growing things. One fan laid out the theory: "It makes sense to me that with King's love of reusing villains, Flagg could easily be the entity in Children of the Corn. His themes with corn in The Stand support that too. I don't think King did that on accident." While King has never explicitly confirmed this connection, the textual evidence and King's pattern of reusing villains across his multiverse makes this theory highly credible. The shop from Firestarter is behind multiple King stories. The shop is a shadowy CIA offshoot that experiments on humans to create supernatural abilities. Think MK Ultra, but for psychic powers. Fans of King's government conspiracy stories noticed a pattern. The shop, the main antagonist organization from Firestarter, seemed to lurk in the background of multiple novels. Could they be responsible for more than just Charlie McGee's pyrokinetic powers? The theory proposed the shop had been experimenting with supernatural forces across multiple King stories, investigating and weaponizing everything from telepathy to precognition. King has hinted at this connection repeatedly. The shop appears, or is referenced in Firestarter, The Tommyknockers, and is implied to exist in several other works. The organization's goal, weaponizing supernatural abilities, would logically extend to investigating other paranormal events in King's universe. In The Tommyknockers, government agents responding to the alien ship display knowledge suggesting prior experience with the supernatural. King confirmed in interviews that he views the shop as one of several government organizations aware of supernatural forces in his universe. While they're not behind every King story, they're certainly investigating many of them. The theory that the shop is a recurring threat across the King multiverse has substantial support. The Green Mile's magic comes from the tower. John Coffey's healing powers in the Green Mile seem miraculous and unexplained. Fans theorize that Coffey was touched by the same force that gives characters in other King novels their powers, the energy that radiates from the Dark Tower. This would make him similar to Danny Torrance with his Shining, or Carrie White with her telekinesis, all drawing from the same source. The novel describes Coffey's powers as something he was born with, something from beyond the normal world. He can heal injuries and diseases, see across distances into people's minds, and transfer his visions to others. Abilities remarkably similar to those displayed by characters with the Touch in the Dark Tower series. Both the Shining and the Touch are King's terms for the same psychic power. His power is described as a light, similar to how King describes the Tower's influence. King has discussed the Green Mile as a story about grace and mystery, and while he hasn't explicitly confirmed the Dark Tower connection, the mechanics of Coffey's abilities align perfectly. In interviews, King has acknowledged that supernatural abilities across his works share common roots. The theory that John Coffey was one of many people born with access to the Tower's energy, like Danny Torrance, Carrie White, and others, fits seamlessly into King's mythology. Cujo was possessed by the same force as Christine. When fans finished Cujo, many theorized the rabid dog wasn't just sick, he was possessed by the same malevolent force that animated Christine. Both stories feature normal things turned into killing machines. Both take place in Castle Rock. The connection seemed obvious. King has confirmed in interviews that he views both Christine and Cujo as examples of evil bleeding through from other dimensions. While he wrote Cujo during the height of his addiction and barely remembers it, he's acknowledged the thematic parallels were intentional. Castle Rock's proximity to a thin spot in reality means objects and animals can be touched by outside forces. The novel itself provides evidence. Cujo's transformation goes beyond normal rabies. He displays almost supernatural persistence and seems driven by something beyond animal instinct. King told interviewers that Castle Rock's curse affects everything there, not just people. The theory that Cujo was more than a sick dog was validated by King's own understanding of his mythology. If you loved this video, hit like and subscribe.